熱のベクトルが僕の胸を貫いてゆく。どんな危険に傷つくことがあっても夢よ踊れ、この星の下で憎しみを映し出す。鏡なんて壊すほど夢に向かってまだ不器用でも生きている激しさを体中で確かめたい。太陽が遠ざかる闇の中で迷う時でも目を閉じて胸にある声を聞けば進んでいける。誰より強く命の音を鳴らして愛を照らせ、この空の果ても真実を惑わせる。鏡なんて割ればいい、愛を抱いて今君のために進化する魂が願っていた未来を呼ぶ。邪魔はさせない弱気な叫び、振り返るな、道は遥か続いてく。心を熱く希望の色に燃やそう。夢よ踊れ、この星の下で憎しみを映し出す。鏡なんて壊すほど愛を照らせ、この空の果ても真実を惑わせる。鏡なんて割ればいい、愛を抱いて今君のために進化する魂が願っていた未来を呼ぶ。
アイディアルな英雄シミュレーション、息切れなんて縁のない世界、いびつなステーションどう乱れ打ち、クリアな感情飲み込まれてく。気づきしないんだろう、自覚なしのからくだらない大状況へと目となく、本当のミッション見失ってる。気がついてるんだ 誰かためのファイト見限れ feel 現実はマッチエンディング行き先は自分の手で今高鳴るかそこからがゲーム挑戦負け飛ばして最後まで晒しかけるファイト感じるな feel strongest enemy was fight up 真の勝利を目指せば風高ぶるハート最高のゲーム踊れをバレたいつまでもこの心燃やせ
どっかちょっとなんかずっと感じてるあと少し人かけら探してるパズル心的体的隙間を埋める刺激的アフェクション Let me change この街に吹き込む風のパワー自分の中取り込み動き出す力へトランスして運命を変えてゆこう最高のエフェクト Stop it きっと強くなれる最高のエフェクト Stop it 次のステージへ最高のエフェクト Stop it 風が連れてゆくよ Why the one that you want いつかきっとなんかもっと手に入れたい焦ってわからまって We got nothing else だとしてもどうしても諦めたくない激しめのエフェクト
Hello, friends. How we doing? How we feeling?
Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome back.
I'm not showing off. Just my arm itches. Oh yeah, the guns. Oh yeah. Oh shit. A little bit of a gun there. Damn. I'm ready. Now I'm showing off. There we go. Look at that. Look at that definition. Hello.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, man.
All right.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Yeah, welcome to the gun show. This is a different kind of podcast now. Welcome to Only Henshins with Mark, a nerd named Mark. So
with Swole McBeardy and the other
Swole McBeardy and his Viking clan have arrived for the podcast today.
Hey guys, how's it
What's
going?
up, y'all? What's going on? How we doing? How we feeling?
Feeling inspired and fucking philosophical, and
I'm glad you feel inspired because
I do.
So you guys know, today's kind of like a topic episode sort of thing. We did look at something specifically, but it kind of opened my brain to a broader topic. So what we're looking at specifically today, as you can see if in the title, whatever it is, we're looking at Kamen Rider Hibiki. You watched the first 10 or so episodes. I only watched the first 5 or so because I got caught up in something else we'll talk about. And it was kind of this broader topic of Toku that kind of subverts our expectations and at the same time shows that we have bounced off possibly multiple times and gone back to and really appreciated more. Yes. And also, I guess kind of in this same vein with Hibiki and specifically is like, again, subverting expectations, kind of going outside the Toku box to where it's not your typical superhero thing. Yeah. So that's kind of today's shtick.
It's definitely something that, like, I don't know, maybe it's because we're getting older, maybe because of, our whole opening perspectives on, the philosophies of everything. You with your training has been like opening our appreciation for martial arts has become like, I don't know, an integration into our lifestyles, right? Yeah. And Toku itself, the more we do stuff with it, the more I'm like doing the Toku minutes, the more I'm doing all the TikTok shit. I'm like really focused on making it make some kind of sense, making it be more than just, "Ooh, I think this is cool, check this out." You know what I mean? Like, yes, there's that element, of course, because it's just part of the deal, but it's also like, I think about this shit so much that I'm thinking about it on levels that I never thought I could out of a children's show. Mind you, okay?
Yeah, big fucking bullet point in that one. These are all fucking kid shows. So
it's supposed to be kid shows.
It's supposed to be children's mediums.
But think about it like this, bro. And this is a big critique on our culture in America. We have, what do we have? Like fucking Caillou? You know what I mean? Like
sure.
Shit like that, okay?
Kids today definitely have Caillou.
I don't know, but I'm talking about like the level of...
They have Bluey.
Thinking,
I don't know what the fuck Bluey is, but it's Bluey.
Okay, so whatever that is, I'm sure it's not on the level of like... I'm sure it's like, here's the lesson for today. We're going to learn how to walk with scissors. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then you're cutting to the Japanese stuff, and the same age group is watching... Gentoku become a clown after being the most evil, wicked thing in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's levels there that I didn't consider me growing up, what I was absorbing and watching Power Rangers again. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. That explains a lot of my indirect attention. I'm always like here and there and here and there. That's why.
Yeah.
Because the nonsense that we absorb.
My thing is, for whatever reason, I mean, we know the reason at this point because it's me, because you say it at the end of every fucking episode. I latched onto things like Berserk. And somewhere deep down, I went, this feels right.
Right. And it's just like...
I think that's just... At the time, I probably should have seen a therapist. But, here we are. So, yeah.
But if I had, then you wouldn't have been so, I don't know, I guess magnetic with your obsession.
Yes.
Because it's definitely that.
Yes.
It's definitely that level of like, hey, check this out. This is cool. You're gonna like it. Check it out. This is what I like about it. Sit down.
I have this vat of Kool-Aid.
That's too.
Do you want to get the funnel or do you want me? Do you want the funnel or the straw?
It is that brought me into obviously this and Soul Land, and now I'm like checking out these other shit, like the one tech one that you introduced me to. Like that's like almost perfectly what I was.
Swallowed Star.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's almost exactly what I envision in my techie sci-fi brain. But yeah, so like
I like to think I have become very good at curating cool shit to people specifically to like get them hooked.
there's a market there somewhere, brother. There's a market. But this particular idea of revisiting shit and reappreciating it has, I think, has become something we've, I don't know, kind of like developed a new taste for, and a new appreciation. And I think I like doing this more than a lot of other stuff we do. Like,
yeah, I would totally agree with that, honestly. So kind of lately I've been in the mood to kind of, I don't know, get in touch with my toku roots, I guess is the way to describe it.
Yeah.
So this is not new. This is not a new revelation. I fucking love Heisei, period. Like the Heisei period in general is the fucking bomb diggity. And I think it's one of those things where I just kind of miss it, honestly. I miss the themes. I miss the darker atmosphere of everything. Like growing up, Heisei Godzilla films were my shit. I started in the Heisei era. Like I've told the story 100 times how I started with Kabuto and Ryuki.
Right.
Like that's just my era. Even I would say Heisei 1 more so than Heisei 2. And you know, Neo Heisei, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Heisei phase 1.
Especially with the, I guess, 3 shows that I haven't seen, or 2.5. It's really been I think I'm going to finally watch them. And I also just want to rewatch some of the ones I didn't enjoy as much and some of the ones that I really did enjoy. Like I want to watch Kiva for the 3rd time because Kiva's fucking great. So yeah, Peacemaker saying this is the show that never finished because Inoue had to make a long rant short. Yeah, so we'll get to Hibiki and the production nonsense in a second. So I just really like the Heisei era in terms of tokusatsu. It vibes with me on every possible level, and even into the 90s we had Hokkaido, things like that. We watched Hokkaido a couple months ago. You know, it was kind of like the 90s grunge was more than just a music thing and kind of like an American thing. Like Heisei was kind of like the grunge of Toku too, right? Like, let's be fucking edgy. You know, this isn't your parents' fucking Toku. That was kind of the big punk rock attitude, right?
Yeah. It embraced it because that was what everybody was looking. Everybody who was growing up needed something different. They needed that edge. They needed that. And I get it. And you're absolutely right with the, I don't know. Well, I wasn't watching at the time, but I can agree that is the kind of material that I would consume. Those stories, Kuga, Agito, Ryuki for fucking sure. Like, I mean, come on. I get the entire thing. And I guess now that I'm thinking about it, Reiwa, it has most of the darkness. Yeah. But it really, I don't know, for some
reason.
Well, yes, but it's also giving more characters, you know what I mean, like richer side characters on top of the main dude. I don't know, like for example, let's talk about our guy today. One of the most elusive ones, dude. Like, what is it with Hibiki that has taken us so long to watch?
Okay, so for me, my personal history with Hibiki. Hello, chat. How are you guys today? Wayward Ryu, Peacemaker.
Hey man,
Ombre. What's up, guys? How you guys doing? I have tried to watch Hibiki no less than 5 times.
Really? That many?
Yes, I have tried to watch Hibiki so many goddamn times. So the first time I tried to watch it was around the time I was getting into Kamen Rider, and I went, what the fuck is this? Oh my god, this is weird. Get it away from me. Didn't watch it for a long time. Always loved the suits, by the way. Always thought they were fucking cool. I saw the Hibiki movie long before I saw anything Hibiki. And I genuinely love that. If you guys don't know, I love Kabuki. I love that design. I think it's fucking cool. I love his henshin. I love everything about Kabuki. And it's one of those things where I have tried multiple times because the first couple episodes are so out there and so different. It's very hard to get into, and I understand why people don't like it, but I think kind of being more open nowadays to what I like and what I want to experience and just wanting to experience more, I think now I'm more attuned to like what they're trying to do. And it's not that I didn't ever not enjoy it. It was just like, this is a little too much for me right now.
Okay, I got you. Like so you only got the first 5 episodes. So that
Yes.
means where you stopped is actually kind of a cliffhanger. Because I remember
Yes.
I got to 5 and I was like, I gotta watch 6. I just gotta know.
Yeah.
So,
Where I stopped absolutely is they name drop a couple fucking people and they face drop someone. And then all of a sudden Hibiki is losing, and that's where I stopped. And I was like, God damn it. Okay. And you know, Peacemaker saying it's super slow show. It is absolutely a super slow show. I think this is going to be how I kind of watched Fies is going to be the same way, where I'm not going to be able to binge watch a ton of episodes. Like it's going to be too much of a slow burn for me to like keep my attention.
listen, I thought the same, but then 10 episodes came in and I found myself really confused and interested because okay, let's start slow.
Yeah.
So the first episode is a hell of a trip.
Before we start with the actual episodes, let's talk about the shit show that is the production of this show.
I know. All right, let me give you what I know,
Okay.
and then you fill in the blanks because I'm pretty sure I know the general things.
Okay.
So, everybody claims this wasn't supposed to be a Kamen Rider show.
Nope. Was not.
No, that's fine. But what it was supposed to be a show. So
Yeah.
all they did was slap the name Kamen Rider on it,
Yep.
right? So that means the elements that are in this show were obviously tweaked after the fact.
Yes.
But the designs, the weapons, the everything up to that point was already set for a whole different show.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So I understand that. Now the writer, I've been kind of catching the wave that there's a change midway through the show, and it completely
More like 2/3 of the way through the show.
okay. Yeah.
Episode
So
29 specifically is when the whole production basically switches.
okay. So given that, if I know that much, then it takes a turn for the absolute worst, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I
So
really
I don't
like.
know if it's necessary. So here's the issue. So long short of it is this was originally supposed to be a reboot of Henshin Ninja Arashi, which is a different Ishinomori property.
Okay.
You have seen this guy. I know you have seen this guy. I'm going to pull it up for you to see. I know you have seen this character because he's wacky fucking tobacco. And I know you have seen this man.
All right, hold on.
So let me put it in here. Doink. There you go. The man with the bird fucking eyebrows.
Oh,
You've seen this guy before. Here,
Yes.
I'll pull it up for everyone at home to see. He's got these crazy big bird eyebrows and this like fucking samurai garb thing going. He's a ninja, obviously. So he has this shogun jacket thing and he's got a bird mask. All this going on. He's his weird bird chest. Very strange.
Super Showa.
Super Showa. So this is an original Ishinomori property. This is Henshin Arashi, something Henshin Bird Arashi, whatever the fuck it's called. Henshin Ninja Arashi. There you go. And this Hibiki was originally supposed to be a reboot of that. So the whole thing is it was slated to be that. They came up with this idea of the guys fighting the yokai, all this kind of stuff. Very similar themes. They even changed the name to Bird Ninja Battle History Hayate at one point.
What?
Yes. And this was originally supposed to be ninja versus yokai. So they're originally supposed to be ninja. And then all of a sudden, local Tokudon favorite Madan Senki Ryokendo fucking premieres. And they went, oh shit, this is kind of the same. Let's just call it Kamen Rider. And so, yeah, they just switched the naming conventions to Kamen Rider. That's why he doesn't say Henshin. That's why he doesn't do any of that. When you watch the show, it is very much not a Kamen Rider show, and they kind of embrace it a little bit. Like, the entire thing was they wanted to not make your typical superhero show. And this is very much not your typical superhero show.
No.
And it's kind of cool because of that. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Dude. So, I didn't know any of that shit, but I do have one more question.
Sorry, but Peacemaker brings up a good point. It gets fucking wilder. So,
right.
At episode 29, Takatera, the one who was running the show and started all this, is removed basically because they said, y'all, you ain't selling enough toys, bro. What are you doing? This is weird. What? The kids are getting weirded out by your weird fucking yokai story. So at episode 29, they switch everything over. Our boy, none other than Shirakura, who is now leading the fucking global expanse at Toei. Shirakura takes over and puts Inoue in charge of the story. Our friend Inoue. Everyone knows Inoue is the way. Yep. Our boy Inoue gets put in charge of the story at episode 29, and I can only imagine Inoue is all over the fuck. And I'm sure he is arguing with a bunch of people at that point.
So Inoue takes over. Okay, so I'm going to assume, for those who know, then I'm going to assume that Kasumi becomes a traitor and dies, right?
Yeah. I'm going to assume, the dad who owns the shop is basically the main villain, and then they're definitely fighting in a river multiple times. So that's the Inoueism, you know? All the outdoor shoots were apparently very expensive as well, which I totally believe because they are in the middle of fucking nowhere, it feels like.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, shit, my brain just blew up 3 times.
Yep. Episode 29, friends. They just went, get the whole fucking crew out of here. We gotta fix this shit.
They bagged the OG dude because he wasn't selling.
Yep.
Fucking
They pulled a Devil May Cry 2 is what they fucking did. In the 11th hour, they were like, just remove the whole team. Just get them all out of there. We got to do something new.
So, chat, does that mean that he doesn't get, like, I don't know, Sokol and all that shit till after 29 or any... Because he uses a shit ton of things.
He uses a lot of goddamn abilities.
Yo, listen, I got shit to show you guys. But legitimately, I'm confused now because what did he get that bumped marketing after 29? Like, you have all the introductions, you have all the writers.
Mm-hmm.
I can only think Sokol. I don't know. Fucking what?
Yeah, so they introduced 2 riders afterwards, Shuki and Kiria. So where is
female riders, right?
No. No. Shuki
fucking
is a female rider, I think. Yep, looks like it, but she kind of just has this red armor. Oh, she's okay. I'm looking at pictures and there's things happening. I'm gonna end up spoiling the show for myself, but who cares at this point? It looks like, so you have this white Hibiki looking guy. He's just literally white Hibiki. They use the same, the picture, I don't know. I'm going to put this picture here for you. I'm not going to pull it up on the screen for you guys to see. But this guy gets introduced. It's just Silver Hibiki. That's all it fucking is. And then you have Lady Hibiki, who is some kind of demon thing. I don't know.
This is so
here's the list of changes. Ready? So just watching the first couple episodes, some of these are very, very prevalent.
So even from the first, he's changing from the first 5. Oh my God.
They literally went full stop, reset. Here we go. So Asumu's opening narrations at the start of every episode were removed. A new opening was introduced in episode 34.
That's okay, because if you guys didn't know, the original Orewa Tenkuji Takeru is Asumu Asudo, whatever the fuck his
Yes.
name is. That is the
My
OG.
name is Asumu, and I met Hibiki-san.
That shit, I got 10 deep, and I'm like, I can't take it anymore. Like, I can't.
Yeah. It's very
Holy
Tenkaido
fuck.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, I went to Yaku Island and met Hibiki-san. This weird fucking dude. The ending sequence is removed altogether.
The walk thing. Okay.
Yeah, the final
Hulk.
credits.
Okay.
Yeah, the characters Kiria and Shuki we were just talking about are added. Originally, Eiki and Shoki were both supposed to be main cast members, but had their parts completely removed. I think they're in the movie. The fire breathing and the Oni claws ability sequences were completely removed, along with Ibuki opening his mouth for his attack. The Makumo that opened their mouth too wide or spurted liquids were also removed. There had been complaints of these sequences from parents, advocacy groups who claimed that they scared children. Fair, considering what happens at the end of episode 5.
Okay, I have clips and I got shit to show you guys.
Yep. Things as complicated to animate CG Makumo and shooting in mountains were almost entirely reduced, probably due to cost issues, leading critics to believe that Takatera was forcibly removed from the project due to his unwillingness to change his script to adapt to these changes. I respect the fuck out of that.
Right.
So
like basically fuck you and fuck you back.
Yeah,
so
basically it was like, yo, this budget is way fucking out of proportion. You're not selling toys to make up for it. You gotta go, champ. You gotta go. So
okay. I mean,
the second opening apparently is worse than the first by a mile. I genuinely love the first opening, and I did not for a long time.
Let's find the second opening. I'm curious.
Okay. Let's listen. Let's give it a listen.
Let's see. Hibiki's second opening. Oh God. Huh? I don't know if this
opening 2. I think I found it.
Yeah, this ain't the right one. Kagayaki is so good though. Why would they do that?
I have something else playing. Something else is playing somewhere, and I don't know. Oh, I know what it is.
I got nothing. I'm not hearing anything.
No, you're good. What is playing? Oh my god, I have so many things playing. Get this out of here. There we go. Here we go. Sorry, folks. Oh no. Oh
what is
no.
that?
Oh no. I didn't know this was the second opening. I've heard this before. No. Oh, this is bad. You know what it sounds like? It's
like they just figured something from the remains of the Showa era.
Yeah, they were like, oh, here you go. This is no, we need something that fits more of, the vibe of Kamen Rider. Here you go. And it sounds like they also listened to the fucking Three Kingdoms song where it got like discount Dan at a first dollar to fucking make his version of it.
Can you almost belt? Yes.
Yeah. Family Dollar Man, number 7. Here you go. Here's the job. There you go.
I see.
Yeah, so so I don't know if you noticed this. Peacemaker mentioned it in the chat here. The first opening is instrumental variations of each of the different riders, which makes it great. Yeah, and it plays throughout, and all of their themes are just the main theme on their fucking instrument, and it's cool as fuck.
It really is. It really fucking is.
Yeah, like the more I'm watching this show, the more I am appreciating the subtle things in it like that.
It is exactly that, bro. It is exactly that subtle shit that turned this whole thing into 10 episodes for me, bro. Mm-hmm. I would have been, ordinarily, if I would have been, hey, let's check out the first episode. What the fuck is this? Let's check out the second episode. What the fuck is this?
Yep.
And then the third, I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing.
Yep.
And I'm interested in the ideas here because it is not Kamen Rider at all, really.
No.
Like not the kind of Kamen Rider that you and I normally are, like Geets. Not even, it's like night and day, and I'm not even kidding. is seriously, Hibiki transforms like maybe once or twice an episode, which is now they transform like 6 times, but it's like it's once or twice, and it's not even like that's the main point of the episode.
Yeah.
It is like the resolution of the problem that and I say problem tentatively because this is such a slice of life thing with Rider in it. You know what I mean, bro? Like,
yeah.
I didn't understand what they were doing because it took 10 episodes for me to look back and be like, I get why this song is the song. Excuse me, why this show has the fandom it does. I get it now, and I'm interested, and I'm really upset that it takes a turn. But maybe I'll stop at 29 and call it a day.
So I think the biggest issue this show has is the first episode, honestly, because it is so. And I don't mean this bad. It is very much trying to set the style of the show, I guess, to where the fighting and the dude in the suit is not important in any way, shape, or form. And it's there to supplement the other things happening. Like, this is a character drama. And yeah, Peacemaker's mentioning once you realize Asuma is the main character and it's about his growth. That's kind of what I love. By episode 5, every time Hibiki and Asuma are on screen together, I fucking was invested.
There's moments, there are so many nuanced moments of character development between all of them, bro. And it's not that, you're seeing like this major change in Hibiki, but it's really that he being himself.
Yeah.
Is like molding Asumu to be a better person, and it's not like he's like listening to what he's saying directly, because he's never like, you should fucking, I don't know, he's never like, listen to what I say. He's always like, you're doing the best you can. All you can do is try harder, and the right answer will come.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Follow your own path is literally the first piece of advice he gives him,
and it's so like. But it's so embedded in his character, because Hibiki's character himself is just this trying to figure out his own shit. Like, he's legitimately he's 30 plus, so I feel 31, you, brother.
Yep.
So yeah, I feel you, and it's definitely one of those
31. What's up, Gary?
What's up, guys? But legitimately, it was a refreshing take on this dude who's still trying to get the grips of what he's trying to achieve, and all he does is the best he can.
Yep. and that's kind of like his thing, right? Like, he doesn't know what he knows what he's doing, but like, he doesn't, I don't know how to say this. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just trying his best, kind of like what you just said.
Yeah, he doesn't have the answers. He finds them by doing what he does, and that's just fucking trying.
Gary, it doesn't feel like a real Kamen Rider because it wasn't a Kamen Rider show. They just slapped the name on it.
Yeah, it's definitely a obvious thing that by the 5th episode, they haven't even introduced a secondary. They haven't introduced.
We saw his face, but he hasn't actually done anything.
Right. So it's just a lot.
They name drop Zanki.
Yeah, of course.
They say Zanki is critically wounded, who I think is the Garuga from Kuga. I think that's him, right? That's Zanki, or is that the other one?
He's not even in the first 10, bro. So
no. Yeah. That's, I know the guy who plays the Garula, or Saber, whatever the fuck, the werewolf. It's him. Yeah. I just don't know which one he plays, because there's the 2 guitar bros. He's Todoroki or Zanki.
I think he's Todoroki, but
I might be wrong. Either way, he's one of the guitar bros. But yeah, they name drop Zanki, and I thought that was a really cool thing, because it's like, oh, the Onis know each other. That's pretty dope.
So, let me ask you, is the core thing about them being a team that fight like all together against Makumo? I was like, oh, that's kind of cool that they're each their own respective discipline.
Yeah, and they hint at in episode 5. I don't know if you picked this up, but certain instruments are better at fighting certain Makumo.
Yeah,
because they said that when Zanki is injured, they go up against a crab Makamo, which is a seafaring critter with spiky things, and it spits acid. And they mention the string instruments are particularly weak against this type of Makamo, which I'm assuming Ibuki is stronger against it. Because that's kind of what they're setting up. Ibuki comes in and helps. But it's I know how you feel about Ibuki. It's cool. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic that, like, yes, they're not only like instrument schools, but they have unique battle almost like classes where they're like, it's almost like, like a magic paradigm kind of thing. Like the ones next to each other are strong, opposites are, weak, that kind of thing. It's interesting.
I like that because it puts into a thing that we like very much, which is power systems.
Yes, I love fucking class systems like that. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, you give us a class system or a power scaling thing, we're there, we're listening. But right now, like, what it seems is like it. Not only do they do that, but they hold to that.
Yeah.
So like, because the episode that you're seeing, or 5, that leaves off is Hibiki gets his ass handed to him, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like,
because he's about to drum the fuck out of this crab. So we'll get to their powers and stuff in a second, but he's about to drum the hell out of the crab, and like an eyeball spitter like opens and it just spews acid onto his arm, and you see it all like melt and shit. And that's what they were talking about when Parents Got Complaints. Like, you see, like, it's pretty gnarly looking. It's not quite like skin and bone, but it's pretty gnarly looking.
It's rough.
It's pretty vicious, and he goes and then jumps into the water, and that's how the episode ends. So
great. But and then it doesn't let up like that. The next episode continues right after that. So it's like, it's not one of those where you're just like, oh, and it definitely has a through story. It is definitely like, not like weeks go by or shit. This is like, he meets him, and then this is like the progression of events after meeting Asumu for the first time. And it's like Hibiki, it becomes like this, I don't know, like it becomes like this idol thing for him, like this mentor. I can't even say that because it's not like he's showing him anything other than talking to him. You know what I mean? So,
but that's like, also the theme that they wanted with this show. They wanted the mentor and disciple thing. That's
what I mean. What I meant by mentor is like, he's not training him how to fight or anything. He's not doing any like Kamen Rider stuff with him that I saw in the first 10 episodes. If that changes, then I'm wrong. But up until the first 10, all it feels is like he's helping this kid kind of figure his shit out. But this kid is also like blown away by this entire thing.
Yeah, and like, to be fair, if I met Hibiki in a forest randomly, which by the way, I would totally hang out on Yaku Island. That place seemed cool as shit. I would just live there. If I met that dude and he just started turning into like a superhero with fucking fire breathing powers and stuff, I would absolutely be like, teach me, father.
And it's all of that shit that I came to appreciate about this shit, man. Asumu himself. All right. He's our entryway character, and obviously we're introduced to all these elements through him. But the what I mentioned before was the group was called Takeshi, and they don't mention that in detail for a while. Oh, sorry,
because that's the name. The only reason I know is because that's the name of the sweet shop. That's the only reason I know.
You're right.
It's so, like Takahashi Sweets or something like that.
Something like that. But it's the idea that they do this slow burn through the core story. I guess that's where Peacemaker was going with that. But because of all the other stuff that they're doing with the character development and the whole thing, most of the episodes are about Asumu taking a test, getting ready for a test, and it's like mentally preparing, physically dealing with the responsibility of growing up and becoming an adult and figuring out what direction he wants to go. All that shit is like, I don't know what is middle school. What is third year middle school in Japan? What are you, 13?
That's like, I would say like 9th, 10th grade, something like that.
I'm saying like this is a lot of heavy shit.
That's the same kind of story of why people like Bleach, right? Like, getting your ass thrown into the fucking real world and having to figure it out, right? Like, we all go through that point in our lives when we're teenagers, young adults, where we need to figure it the fuck out. And spoiler alert, sometimes you don't.
You don't.
You don't.
No.
Some people, if they say they do, they still don't. So there you go.
You dance roll and you keep rolling with the punches.
Yeah, you get into boxing at fucking 32 and start getting punched in the head more than you ever have in your life. That's what you do.
And I'll tell you what, and you figure it out. That shit feels good. It feels really good.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where, like, Asumu is immediately empathetic, I guess, not even sympathetic, empathetic. Like, we've all been there, where, like, he's supposed to be trying to get into this really great school because it's a really great band program, something like that, because in Japan, if you guys don't know, they kind of do like the specialty high schools. They almost do like high school selection like we do college, and then they do college even harder. It's kind of wild. But they do that's kind of like where My Hero comes in. Like, that's why it's a hero school. It's like the best in the country or whatever. That kind of thing. So
they do actual education.
Yeah, they do actual education based on, things you want to get into in your life. American schooling system. Woo! I still don't know how to do my taxes properly.
Nothing against you teachers. It's really just the fact that you're forced to do what you do.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing it anyway.
But yeah, it's one of those things where, like, he's immediately empathetic, and then he meets this guy who kind of has a purpose. Like, he doesn't necessarily, he may not, like you said, he may not have all the answers, but he has a purpose, and that's really tantalizing to Asumu because he wants that, right? Like, we have these really interesting shots in the first episode where he's watching the band. I don't know if he's visiting Jonan. I don't know what that was specifically. I think he was like visiting like a campus tour kind of thing, right?
Like overlooking it, trying to get scouted and shit.
Yeah. So he's like watching this band practice. I assumed that's what it was because it was weird that he wasn't in there with them if it was his school,
He got in. I think he wanted to learn.
That's what I was saying. Like, I think it was Jonan and he was doing like a campus tour, but like he's watching and they have this really interesting effect where everything is washed out except for him. And like he has this haze around him. He's the only thing in color. And it's so weird because that is very much a very real, like, I've never seen a feeling visualized like that where I was like, I've fucking been there. Oh my God.
That's just the shit that I'm talking about.
Yeah, like, where you're just like going through the motions, it feels like, even when it's something you feel like you're supposed to be like all about, you're just kind of going through the motions and like you feel that fire just not there, even though this is supposed to be like your thing. And it's okay. Sorry. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it was a very interesting way and like fascinating way to visualize the show. And the first episode is so visually fascinating. And I can see why it can put people off at the same time because it's so different, so out of left field, so experimental. And yeah, it's cut to music. There's a fucking musical number 3 seconds into the episode.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. But then again, I think that was supposed to be a tribute to Ishinomori, something like that. I don't know. I kind of was like, okay, let's just do that, and then we'll get back to the other stuff. But,
it was very weird. And then I was like, the only thing I was like, oh, it's a music show. Sure, why not? Let's just go for it. Because they do it a couple more times than the first. They did it like one other time, I think, in the first 5 episodes. And it's just like, yeah, sure, it's a music show. Why not? Whatever. Let's go for it.
There's a lot of that I was looking to see if like they did much of that, but a lot of it is music cues and like undertones. Like, there's a lot of shit here where Asumu hears music in ways that we wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like,
it's very like stomp, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, thank you. That's a good way to put it. It's very like that,
like he's going through a construction site and he hears like the saw and the hammer and it's a beat. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
It's cool.
It's really cool. I'm like, it's really fucking cool.
But it's just part of it because this all goes into his fixation with what becoming fond of the bond with Hibiki through just absorbing the confidence that he puts in him. Yeah, so
because of the first fucking interaction that they have is Hibiki. So they are on a boat. They're on a ferry to this Yaku Island, which is this Buddhist retreat island thing. I don't know. It's an island. It looks great. I would, like I said, I would hang out there all the time. I would retire there. Honestly, it looks fantastic. I had to figure out what island it is. It looks really nice. And so this kid, there's dolphins swimming next to them on the ferry, and this little stupid kid, is he young or just dumb? Who knows? He climbs up all these suitcases and leans over the edge and is about to fall in. And Asumu again, very of his character and where he is at the time, is kind of like about to run downstairs so he doesn't get involved in this situation, doesn't know what to do. And my man Hibiki swan dives off the tier above him and grabs this kid before he's able to fall.
It's just like that. Like immediately he's fucking James Bond superhero.
Yeah. As he's just like whistling into the wind, quite literally, just whistling into the wind.
Sneezing. He's got sinus issues. Something
yeah, he just keeps sneezing like he caught a cold.
He's definitely. Oh yeah, it is a cold because he gets.
Yeah, they keep saying. They keep saying it's a cold. How did you catch a cold? So
I forgot about that. But it's that. I like that shit because he starts off dynamic and then. But that you mentioned Asumu true to his character. There's another instance later on where he's looking for Hibiki.
Yes.
To tell him that he's passed the test, and on the bus or train or whatever it is, there's a moment there where I think a pregnant lady or a lady with a baby comes on, and he's got a seat. She doesn't think she's pregnant, but he doesn't give up her seat, even though he thinks about it and then he just keeps thinking about giving up his seat. By the time he even comes to and try to make a decision, she's already off the fucking train.
Yep.
Then fast forward again, there's another girl who comes on and he does the same thing because he's so distraught from being indecisive, he clams up again. It's just like
anxiety's a bitch.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like I get being that timid.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, not me, but I understand the temerity in somebody.
Yeah, but again, like it's empathetic because we've all been there, right? Like we want to do the right thing, and sometimes we just don't, right? Like we think about it so much, the opportunity, no matter what it is, whether it's something like that, whether it's being, altruistic in some way, we have a moment where we hesitate, think about it too much, and then you go, oh shit, well, fuck, that kind of thing.
Do you think because the main characters, even Hibiki, go really out of their way to even talk about him, even when he's not in the scene, or you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of scenes where Hibiki and the other characters are just talking about Asumu and what he's doing and how their interaction is with him, and it dawns on Hibiki during those conversations that he's actually becoming more of a mentor to this kid.
Yeah,
and it's like,
and I think
it's that.
Yeah, like Hibiki is not necessarily ignorant of it. I think he just doesn't see himself as that kind of person,
Yeah.
And so like I know what conversation you're thinking about specifically because he's reading a newspaper and he's talking to his mentor. And yeah, he's like, oh, didn't that kid say he was gonna, take a test soon or something? And he's like, oh yeah, he did. I guess he did. And the mentor guy's like, oh, he hasn't been around in a minute. I thought he was gonna come say when he was like, oh yeah, I told him to come tell us when he was done or something like that. And it's like, oh, okay.
But hold on, I think I have a clip here. I have a bunch of clips, but let me see if this one loads up. This is nope. No, I just have a bunch of fight clips. Never mind. I thought I saved the clip, but it was that conversation plus another one a little bit later where he's just like, yeah, maybe I should just talk to him.
Yeah.
But when he goes to talk to him, he's like, I don't know. It's like he's not even realizing what he's doing. I don't know how to explain that other than when Hibiki's doing the mentor thing, he's just being Hibiki.
Yeah.
That's it. He's not putting on the Shifu mustache or anything,
Yeah, like he's not like, okay, you want to be an Oni? Let's start running.
Right. Oh yeah, and let's talk about that real quick. So these
run. Yes,
to be an
Oni, mentioned it.
to be an Oni is to train and train hard because there's the training montage in this. Yo.
Is there really? The only one I've seen so far is the jog. It's the only thing I've seen.
There's that. There's the one where he's lifting slabs with he's lifting.
I didn't see that one. No, I didn't see that one. I saw he was doing when they're trying to find the crab. He was on like 84 push-ups, which is very impressive.
Yeah.
And then he was doing the jog, which we kind of got a hint at when the kids were trying to chase his mentor when they met Takahashi and the Takahashi gang. They're chasing the owner, and he's just outrunning them at like clearly like 60 something years old. He's outrunning these children like it's no problem. They're like dying, and he's just Rocky running.
It's so great. I'm gonna during that training after he does the jog. As Asumu is looking for him, this is just a specific part.
Yeah.
Asumu is looking for him. He finds out that he on X Mountain training. They go to finally show Ibuki. He finds out he's training on a mountain, and he starts off with the jog. Then he's lifting, temple concrete slabs, 3 stacked on each other.
Sick.
By the time we're cutting into him, he's at the 600 count. So he's
Sick.
just like, yeah. So he's doing that. Then he does what I knew I needed to just not show you until right now.
Okay.
So they're gonna load, and the moment I saw this, I was like, "Oh, Carl's gonna fucking lose his shit."
I'm about to start the Hibiki training routine, aren't I?
Look, especially if this fucking number is in your training, please. But like, it's just, I think they're right because they do a lot of the helmetless suits shots, and my mans are in shape. These guys are like the part, you know what I mean? The full part. I mean, I know they're probably not in the suits doing most of the shit, but they rock the suits well. All right, I think the first uploaded on the Discord. Not yet. So I had to split it up. Sorry.
It's okay.
But this shit was so cool. So fucking cool.
This is where, in my training arc, I go into the Hibiki version and I update and upgrade to like Rider fucking version of my boxing career. So, all right.
You have to.
Let me switch this over so you guys can see. All right, big Taito drum. I love it.
Bro, listen to it though. Listen and watch.
Oh, and he just changes into it. I like that. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the same clip basically. But yeah, he just changes into the Hibiki form. That was kind of dope. He just
bro.
Mid fucking drumming. What's up, Deca Striker? How you doing?
What up?
Yeah, I love that the seamless, like, they even do it sometimes while he's fighting. He'll just be like changed kind of thing. And it's cool to see the purple fire. And I don't know if you noticed, but when he does that, you hear the and they hear like the monk chanting. I was like, oh, that's dope.
I was digging this, and I'm just like, I'm surprised and kind of just shocked at how much I was digging it before they even introduced my favorite dude. And Ibuki's character is not what I thought he was. I thought he was your typical secondary. You know what I mean? Fuck the main guy.
Yep.
I'm better.
The rival boy. Yeah.
Yo, it's not even close. They're cool. They're compatriots. You know what I mean? Like they actually have a bond, and I'm like, what's happening? What is this? Because of all the characters' personalities, Ibuki being the pretty boy, blasty blast, I was like, that's my guy. But I didn't know that he's also kind of still figuring this out too.
Yeah.
And he looks up to Hibiki in a lot of ways. And,
oh, really? That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So like there's a scene. Okay, there's a through line too for jokes. Hibiki can't drive.
Yes. They call him a paper driver is the term that they use, which means he has a license, but he doesn't drive.
Paper driver. It is fucking great. But that gag comes back again. Yeah. I'm loading a clip now. Ibuki's bike is called a Tatsumaki.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The Hurricane.
And
okay.
It is just a legit bike. It's just a beast, right? Now, nothing fancy, but there's a scene, and it's almost unloading. There's a scene where they're chasing this kaiju, this Makumo. And
yes, by the way, we should mention that they fight very large kaiju in basic, normal sized person form.
That unfortunately felt very formulaic, and I didn't like it.
Yeah. Oh, you think it gets to a point where it's very formulaic?
It did, but at that point I didn't like it. But I think I was forgiving of it because that wasn't.
Oh, the Harley is the Tatsumaki, the purple Harley thing.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah. So watch this.
Oh
clip.
Wow, they are actually buddies. That's funny. That's what's up.
So
I like that. Then they just crash the fucking car.
So there's that, and then another clip is loading.
While that's loading up, Deca Striker asks us some questions, being the first time they're here. Hit
up,
me with a quick top 5 Kamen Rider season.
Gaim build, 01, Geats, and Chiva.
Word. All right. No particular order. I'm going to say Saber, Wizard, Blade. Well, Blade's number 1. That's not easy. Or that's not difficult. And Hibiki is growing quickly, honestly. At this rate.
Yeah.
Agito is also growing quickly. I will get into Agito. Yeah. And we're also very much enjoying Geats. If you want to check out after the show, check out last week's episode. We did like a full recap of where we are with Ultraman Sentai and Kamen Rider. Yeah,
check us out.
The current ones.
Just so you know, Deca Striker, we're consistently inconsistent. All lists are subject to change at our whim. Just be ready.
I think I only said like 4 anyway. So yeah, there you go.
So this clip that just loaded is like following the events, like after they beat the kaiju, they realize what just happened.
He's like, you wrecked my bike.
It's just those moments because Hibiki doesn't know how to drive, so he can hold a vehicle doing something, but when you go to do something else, like stopping, you can't do it. So that's why he said jump off. I can't stop this thing.
That's awesome. I'm actually really excited to get to them now. I think that's that's a really cool dynamic that I don't think we've really had from 2 riders out the gate like that. Out the gate. I know we get, some that become buddy, but out the gate.
It takes time. But legitimately, I'm like, I can't. This was not what I was expecting. Mm-hmm. I'm really happy because I'm like, I'm getting more than I wanted, and I had no expectations going into Hibiki. I really thought I was gonna hate it. I really did. I was like, oh god, the first episode was like confusing. Second episode didn't help much, but the nuances that latched on through those first 3 episodes, where I was curious about, is this gonna be a story where Asumu becomes Hibiki? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying.
At least in the decade portion of Hibiki, he does become Hibiki. I don't know if that's technically canon. I don't know if he does by the end of the show, but he does become Hibiki in Decade's Hibiki story.
That is dope.
Yeah.
It's kind of dope. Because I really think that those elements that they're introducing is really what's pushing that this interest in me. Like, holy shit, they're teaching him the fundamentals of thinking like an Oni rider, then becoming you know what I'm saying? Like, I really hope that that's the route that this show takes. But whether it does,
it's interesting too that it's not necessarily like thinking like a big hero man. You know what I mean? Like, he's not instilling in him any kind of like, hey, people are in danger. You have a purpose to save them if you want to do this, that kind of thing. I think it's really interesting that it's more of, you need to act how you feel. You need to act what your heart says, because I know you're a good person.
Right.
Like, I think that's kind of the coolest part about this. And yes, we mentioned at the beginning of the show, Deca, Inoue took over after episode 29, and that's also what kind of scares me now that we know that about episode 29, because there's so much good subtle things here that if all of that is kind of gutted and swapped out for the last 14, 15 episodes, that's sad, honestly, because this could go a lot of really great places.
I think I'm gonna watch up to 29. I'm gonna take a break before I finish it, because I want to come to terms and mourn the loss of what I think I really like. So I'm interested in seeing it though, because I want to know if that is the reason why people don't have the appreciation for Hibiki.
Yeah, I feel like it's a combination of that. Like, they hear the horror story, right? Also, you're fine, Deca. You just throw questions out. We'll get to them when we get to them. It's not a problem at all. I feel like it's a combination of that first episode, right? Like, the first 2, I believe, are on Toei Tokusatsu World Channel, whatever the hell it's called. I keep wanting to say Toei Tokusatsu World Tour, and that's Tokusatsu World Tour. That's their channel. That's the whole thing. But I keep like, I believe the first 2 episodes are on there because they put the first 2 episodes, which would make a lot more sense if they had, these seasons readily available, so you could get a taste and then be like, oh, that seems cool. Let me get the rest of it. But, that's a whole other conversation. Thanks, John. Appreciate you as always.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
John.
Come at me with your fucking SWAT team. I'll show you my piranha. What's up? I think it's a combination of that, and then they hear this horror story of this like production nightmare that this show has, right? Like it's I get the same vibe of whenever I'm like, hey, you should watch Blade, and I don't mean that as like, yeah, no, you should watch Blade, it's cool, and then everyone goes, oh, but the first 13 episodes, oh, and it's like, okay, listen, just watch the fucking show.
Yeah, I mean, I give you shit, but I do like Blade, and I'm now seeing the appreciation you have for Agito, and now I'm like, whoa, what am I missing? I need to go back.
Like, there's a lot of shows that I'm like, everyone says these are fucking terrible. I want to see for myself. Like, a lot of people really don't like Agito, and this is kind of where we were getting to that topic I was talking about earlier of like subverting expectations and kind of revisiting things we may not have or revisited previously and had a certain way about.
I think the problem with Agito is it's the second bite of Kuga, and they added just a couple more things on there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like if you had a taste for it, it's a second bite. You know what I mean? But if you've had your fill, it's a second bite. Yeah.
So for me. So I guess, do you have anything else to say about Hibiki before I go on an Agito rant?
What? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I'm about to go on an Agito rant. So we'll put a pin in that. Put a pin in the Kuga Agito thing. Put a pin in that. Because I like this show. I like Hibiki a lot, guys. I only watched 5 episodes and I'm fucking here for it. So.
All right, I'm gonna try to
a lot more than I thought I was going to, honestly, because like I said, I've tried multiple times at this point. So,
and this loads, and hopefully those.
So let's talk about the Onis themselves for a second, because we really didn't talk about that yet. Because I'm assuming you're loading fight clips. So let's talk about the Onis themselves. So Onis are our riders this season, and they transform with various little instruments. For example, Hibiki uses a tuning fork, Ibuki uses a little whistle, Zanki and Todoroki use like a wrist string thing. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, I think that's an actual instrument, no? Like it's supposed to be like a little tuning thing.
Yeah, like there's some kind of tuning instrument of some sort, like a tuning whistle, the tuning fork, yada yada, etc.
Gotcha.
And it's interesting because one, they're very different kind of henshin devices, because again, this wasn't Kamen Rider, so it makes it extra cool. I also love that fucking tuning fork. I think that is the coolest shit ever. I want to get a CSM of it. I think there is one. I've seen one in a fancy box. I don't know if that's a CSM or not, but I've seen one in a fancy box. It looks goddamn cool.
I really like the whistle a lot.
You like the whistle? Okay, the whistle's pretty good. I do like the wrist thing, though. I'm not gonna lie. I like the Todoroki wrist thing.
So like, okay, so these things have multiple functions.
Yes.
So like we mentioned before, how they have like, which was confusing because of the gimmicky thing. They have a bunch of gimmicks that, if you guys know O's, it's like a million of those things.
Yeah.
The little animal things.
Or like in Wizard, they had the Plamo creatures that he would throw around, like the rings he would plug into was like the unicorn and the gorilla and all those.
Shit,
you forgot about those, didn't you? I didn't forget about
it. I did. Yeah. But that's my point. Is like that came from somewhere. So Hibiki has like cases where these disc things that have the etches of the animals that they fucking a disc pops out.
It's a CD, literally a CD.
It's trippy because I didn't know that, and I'm like, what? Holy shit, that's cool. So like the etchings of the disc become. It turns into the animal that's etched onto the disc.
It literally it transforms like a fucking transformer. Like it's literally a bunch of sound waves on a CD that just like pops out these things. And
they're like surveillance things, dude. They go and they look and they report back to Hibiki and like or Ibuki or whoever, and they tell them what they were sent to look for.
Oh, they don't tell them.
Well, let me correct myself. The reason why I say that is because what we hear, because they're telling them, but what we hear is noise and scratching. But mind you, Hibiki and Ibuki are like, yes, right, got it.
So I don't know how the whistle one works. I don't know. Do you see Ibuki use one of the discs and like read the disc? Yeah. Okay, so I don't know how the whistle works. It like folds over. It's the same way.
it spins and it's just
Okay,
like
so Ibuki being this tuning fork, so it's a fork and then it has the two hands here. It folds over and they put the disc in like a record player almost, and it just spins. Like the tuning fork folds in half, and he puts it in there and it just spins, right? And then you see Hibiki just like with his eyes like flickering, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, right, 32 kilometers left, 42 right,
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, oh I see the spider, yeah."
But this makes so much sense because you're like, how does this show function? How do they do things, bro? They are a unit that hunts down Makumo when they hear reports that people have gone missing.
Yep.
Something is happening, and obviously one guy isn't just gonna walk out into the street and run into the Makumo.
Yep.
They go to where the reports are and they send spy drones.
Yep.
And it's just so clever. I'm
It's
like,
dope.
that makes so much sense.
Yep.
And then they come back and they help them. There's a crab that points to where the giant crab is for Hibiki.
Yep.
He's like, hey, I found the fucker, come with me. And it's like, yo, I love it. I love those little things so much. This first clip that finally loaded, so Hibiki's a horror show.
Yeah, by the way, it's
By the
very 2000s horror,
which had me hooked immediately
Yeah.
because I was like,
I also pulled up for
oh,
everyone
yeah.
at home. You guys can see the tuning fork here. It has this dope Oni face. This is Hibiki's symbol down here, and then it has the two things here. This folds in half, so like the top of its head, this crown folds over, and then the disc center like sits right here at the end of the fork.
yeah,
It's pretty cool.
it is cool. There's not pretty cool. It is cool.
It's dope. It's dope as hell. There it is.
Of
There
all
you
the
go.
things, I don't know. I think Hibiki's. I don't know what Hibiki's Ongeki Rekka. I think, right?
Yes. So the Henshin Onsa is the tuning fork, and then the where is it? I just had it. The Ongekipo Rekka is the drumsticks.
Ongekipo Rekka.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Dope ass names.
this guy's Ibuki is called Repu.
Yep.
The horn. The horn is called Repu. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
So cool. That's another clip I hope loads at some point. But yeah, give it time, guys.
Oh, let me pull this up. Okay. Hang on. I'll see if I can see this for you guys. Here we go. I don't know if I've seen this part. Nope, I have not. Also, these fucking people are terrifying. Is it the same actors every time?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't know for sure though.
I
'cause
wasn't
now-
sure. Like, I thought the crab people might be the ones from the first one, but I think the guy in the first episode is Rook/Bishop, like Rook from Kiva. I believe that's him /Bishop from O's. I think it's the
Seriously?
same dude. Yeah.
It all uploaded sideways. Sorry, guys. I recorded fucked up, but whatever.
Yeah, it's sideways. It's fine.
So,
But either
like-
way, yeah, that's it's creepy as hell.
so they say, hey. So the thing is, these two Onis, which is what they are, the two Onis meet up. They have a child,
Mhm.
and the child is a fucking nightmare, right?
It's a kaiju.
And they have to feed it.
Yeah.
So this particular one that lives in the water is a stingray crow thing. It's horrifying.
Yep.
But
that seems. Yep.
so this thing, they say, hey, are you hungry? We know you love human juice, which is like human juice. So they have
That's blood. That's blood.
the clip. You just see they wring them of their human juice. They're wringing the human juice from these people.
Mhm.
I'm like, this is a kid show.
It's a kid show. It's a kid show, kids.
But it's just that level of consistency I hope stays because all of the
It's
kaiju,
terrifying.
all the gore in this, like the like you mentioned earlier, Hibiki gets burned by the acid spray from a crab, right?
Mhm.
There's later instances where the kaiju have like really gross attacks. There's like a spider one that has like very thick mucusy net. Like it's just like that's obviously horror
Yeah.
gore. So I'm like I'm all about it. This shit was so cool. I'm gonna let this last clip load and then we can move on. But this if I wasn't a fan for Ibuki,
Mhm.
this was like
Okay.
Okay, now-
Okay.
now I
So yeah, getting into their actual like specific powers. So they have the usual like, you know, they could run fast, jump around. Like in the first episode, Hibiki is literally like half flying between trees. He's Naruto jumping between fucking trees. It's kind of cool. And he's got like one arm tied to him. because he got wrapped up by this spider thing. And so he's like literally Naruto jumping between trees. It's really fucking cool. And they can also spew fire from their mouth, like we were talking about. That's one of the changes that they had, and it has this cool little effect where, like, normally it has like a blank face, like an Optimus Prime faceplate type thing that opens into this little thing like this, and you just see like little teeth, and and that's usually how he cooks one of them right out the gate.
Yeah, I have a clip of that.
So since there's always two, we was just talking about the kid, right? There's always two. The first one, he almost immediately 2 seconds into the fight cooks the first one. He's just done.
And that's another thing. Like these kaiju aren't like, or these oni aren't invulnerable. Like they get lit up quick and then off quick. So it's not like these battles are drawn out until it gets to the kaiju.
Yeah.
And Hibiki is cold blooded.
Hibiki's cold. Oh, okay. We're seeing the Ibuki, the finisher here.
Yes. So that's
okay. It's called Breath. That's awesome.
Well, they say what it is next. You know what I mean? Repu, violent, breathe. Like that's so dope.
That's cool.
Violent wind.
Oh, that's right. He explodes the vital points with it. I forgot about that. Oh yes, you got a thing of the claws. Okay, dope.
Yeah, it's the boss from Dark Souls. Whatever that thing is.
So this is a pretty cool clip. I'll show you guys this. This is something I hope sticks around. This is something I also never knew he had until I watched this episode. So on his arm, it's kind of hard to see. It's a little granulated, but he has like claws that come out, like Wolverine claws almost, that come out of his hand.
Oh.
I never noticed he had that. Except...
Oh, it's a constant thing. I thought it was like a one... Oh.
Yeah, no, they like retract into his hand.
They're always there.
Yeah, if you look at his hands, he's got the little nubs there. I thought they were just like Oni claw like design things. I never knew they actually like came out and he stabbed someone with them. That was kind of cool.
That's cool.
And the one he just cooked is a monkey, by the way. And I thought it was really funny because they're in their human form. They're going, Oni, Oni, Oni. I was like, holy shit, it's a monkey. All right.
It's so dope. Hibiki's surprised the hell out of me. I think I'm going to keep watching now at obviously a little more different pace, but it's dude. I'm not expecting this.
100% like hooked me. Like I kind of want to watch more like right now. I mean, I also ended on a cliffhanger, but like I really want to watch some more. And that was not the case when I watched this last time. Last time I watched it was when they just had uploaded it to the channel. And yeah, like the suit is sick. All of the suits are sick. Doesn't matter which one you're looking at. They're all sick. Even these weird like color variations like Silver Hibiki, it just looks cool because it's blue and silver. But yeah, that's what we were saying earlier, Deca. There's a lot of like helmetless stuff. And y'all know how I feel about the helmetless stuff, especially when it's broken. So give me more of that. I also just love his henshin because he just ignites into purple fire. And that's such a cool touch.
It's always a nice touch when you just erupt in flame.
Yeah, that's the move. That's definitely the move. So yeah, no, Hibiki, I highly recommend you guys watch. Try and get at least the first 5 like we did. I think you'll feel very differently. If you can get through that, you can kind of make a more solid gauge of how you'll feel about the show.
Do the first 6 because then you'll meet Ibuki and then you'll
there
be
you go. Yeah.
First 6.
Perfect. First 6.
Dude. Yeah. I mean,
I'm excited to get to Zanki and Todoroki, honestly. I really want to get to the fucking guitar bros.
Yeah, I gotta know.
Especially Zanki. I think he's the green one. Is he green? Zanki's green, right?
Let's do a pledge. We will do a series review whenever we've completed it. Individually.
Sure. I just want to get to Zanki here. I think he's green. I'm sorry. I'm very distracted right now.
You're sticking to it because you're stuck with me, bro. I'm sorry. But yeah.
Yes, Zanki is the green one. Sick.
Yeah, the Todoroki is what, like brown?
Yeah, something like that. I think he's just reverse Zanki.
Okay.
Let me see.
He's got the mohawk.
They're both green.
Oh. Zanki and Todoroki.
That means they're my favorite, period, already. So that's cool.
Oh yeah,
he's got Todoroki has more of the mohawk thing going on.
The gold face and the silver face.
Todoroki has silver face, yeah, and then it looks like Zanki is.
Is it gold or rust? Is it our new favorite color? Rust.
Rust is my favorite color, thanks to Zeranos. So. Oh yeah, no, I like Zanki better. That's dope. It's like a bronze. That's what it is.
Hold on, I need a better picture of their weapon.
The fucking caliber.
The fucking
What's it called? Oh, what's it called? So Zanki's is called Ongen Shingen Retsuzan. There you go.
It's like a short spear.
It literally looks like a Chinese halberd, but a guitar, and I'm here for it.
All right, so these designs have always been tough, and this
is getting even tougher.
This is tough, man. Holy shit! Wow.
Yeah, that's Zanki there.
Are we excited to see Hibiki?
I'm fucking excited to see Hibiki. I'm gonna watch more Hibiki, guys. Yo. Speaking of which, speaking of also getting excited. Good.
Shout out to Villain Black and Deviant Art, because this looks cool as shit and is right up your alley.
Okay. Hit me.
There.
Oh, that's dope. Here you go, guys. Yo, that's me as a Hibiki rider. We've done it. We've nailed it. It's over. Is that Arm Zanki? Is that what that's supposed to be?
Yeah, so cool. Zanki, so cool.
Oh, it's cool. God damn it. Shit. All right. I mean, I've always loved Hibiki suits. They're so good. Yeah, it's funny that it used to be like this crazy Birdman thing first.
Like, what is that? What even is that?
I don't know.
To come back to be like, hey, I have this idea to continue this old show that probably 13 people watched.
Yeah. Oh, this is even cooler. Ready? So the Ongeki-kan, Ongeki-gen, sorry, Gen, has two modes: the Kengeki mode, which is the sword mode, and the Ongeki mode, which is the sound attack mode. And it has a fucking holster. Holy shit. It has a holster. Hang on now. I'm going to pull it up for you guys, but I'll send it over here so you can see it. It has a whole ass holster.
Oh, dude, that is fucking... What was that? Oh my god. That leather sheath is like so part of the fucking show I'm thinking of now, and I can't hear it. Moribito. Remember that?
Yes, you showed me that.
Yeah.
I never actually watched it, but yes, you showed me that.
That's straight up Moribito.
Nice.
Holy shit.
I'm here for it. Hell yeah. That's it. We got to watch at least till Todoroki and Zanki show up. So
done. Okay.
Game over.
Yeah.
Hibiki, big recommend on at least giving it a shot, because that is definitely gets way too much shit than it deserves.
Legit. I'm converted.
Yeah.
I know it's just going through the through line with everything we've talked about, but this is just solidifying the point where give everything a shot. You never know. Like, you could have paid me and I would have still thought about watching Hibiki. Like
Absolutely. I got you, Deca. Give me 1 second. I'll send you the link.
Oh, yeah. Dude. Like, thinking about when I first took the sip of Kool-Aid, Hibiki was the first one that was like, that's not Rider. Like, like the first one where I was like, what is that? That's so different. And now I'm like, oh, it's so different.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like that it's so different. And that's kind of been like the theme lately, right? Like we talked about, we checked in with the big three last week. And, the best thing about King Osier is it doesn't feel like a Sentai, and that's very refreshing. And we were talking about how that kind of gets us into new shows. And Kamen Rider is just, it's always going to have us. That's just what we are. We're Kamen Rider dudes, right?
Apologetic.
Yeah. And, we were talking about Blazer because we had just watched episode 1, and episode 2 also literally hooked me. See what I did there?
You're clever.
Yeah.
You should do it professionally, man.
I should. It's like we should do a podcast or something, man. It's crazy. Maybe. But yeah, like it's just trying new things and mixing up the formula is a great way for me to get interested, because I don't know what's going to happen. I would like to see what happens.
let me play a devil's advocate real quick. Does that then make us not adherent to the core fandom?
I don't know what you mean by that. I'm going to be
honest. Are we then, because we like when they switch up the formula, does that then make us not traditional fans?
No, because we like that stuff too.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, is it bad that I'm so appreciative of this new stuff, even though everybody keeps telling me, dude, check out this one, check out that one, and I'm like, I try it, and then when it becomes the formula, I'm like, this is why. This is why.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because you know what? As long as you like something from there, you're part of it. So there you go.
Because Gokaiger's so my style, but it does become fucking
formulaic.
But even though it's good, because Marvelous is marvelous.
I've talked ad nauseum at this point of why I don't get into Sentai, and my usual 15 to 16 episode wall that I crash into headlong and then just kind of crumple to the ground like a rag doll is usually what happens. And like King Osher has me hooked. There's been a few Sentais over the years that have got me past that. Dai Ranger's one of them. Gao Ranger's one of them. And
naturally,
honestly, I think it just kind of comes down to like how into everything else I am, because like the characters tend to be very formulaic unless they have like pretty interesting individual episodes. But like it kind of turns into like how much do I like the mech, how much do I like the actual fights themselves, that kind of thing. And I think that tends to be usually what does it. So when you have an interesting like you have interesting characters and stories and things like outside of that stuff, that's when I'm like, oh, okay, hell yeah, let's go. So and this is kind of the same way, the kind of talking into that. It's like, I'm here for Kamen Rider. You already hooked me. Make me interested in this Kamen Rider. And you know how you do that? Fucking cool ass music cues and subtle little character things that you don't see a lot of times in literally any other Kamen Rider.
Here's what you do. You take your secondary or your primary character, ideally, right? You have their introduction, them crashing through a wall and punching somebody in the face.
Yeah, that too. That works too. Yep.
There you go.
That works too. So, yeah, I like Buffa a lot. I am a big Buffa shill, if you guys didn't know. So, that is also a way that works too.
Okay. Let me take us into a track here.
Okay.
And I know I'm being a bit repetitive, but it's kind of the whole thing here. The Toku Minutes. Every Toku Minute, I watched the first 5 episodes of whatever we covered. Recently, you just did Guyver the first movie. And the messages that I have been getting about the fandom from that, you guys need to see Dark Hero. You need to see Dark Hero. I'm just saying. Guyver 1 is great. Guyver 1's fantastic. But Dark Hero's better. Anyway. My point is that revisiting all this stuff, rewatching all these things again.
I'm not saying anything.
Why later?
We have an entire 2-hour discussion about this, by the way, kids. You can go watch that. You can go listen to that episode. You can actually watch it. It's on the YouTube channel too. You can go watch that episode. So
it's so great. But it felt so good. That's one of my greatest victories, you guys. I will hold on to that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, but the first one's still better. So.
It's fine. You can have that sentimental attachment, but that's not the case.
It's better.
Anyway.
It's better. All right.
My point is that I do a lot more of this going back to watch stuff that we wanted. And recently, from the recent winner of the Toku Minute was Gio, and I find it's not even been that long. You know what I mean? A couple years tops, and I'm like. I remember nothing, which is probably a bad thing, because I do remember the key points, but you could spit 7 different instances and I'll have them confused.
Yeah. Later, bro.
But what I'm interested in is rediscovering what they tried to do versus what they ended up achieving. You know what I mean? And this kind of brings me to the Hibiki instance, where we're acknowledging that what it starts off of is not what it becomes. So true for fucking everything that at this point the positives are what I'm latching onto now. You know, so
is there positives in Zio? I don't
there is remember. 2 positives.
Okay,
there are 2 positives.
Okay, hit me with those positives. I'm going to tell you how you're wrong, but okay, go ahead, hit me.
Oh, you can't. Oma Zio.
Okay, he's fine, I guess. I don't know. He's overrated as fuck in my opinion, but sure.
And Forever 21 dies.
But it still shows up, so that doesn't count. It still fucking shows up, so nah.
Anyway, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, we have such harsh anger for it that I'm like, okay, I want to see it again. I'm going to give it the first 5 episodes again because it's just what I do. But, when you think about it, Why why haven't we gone back to see it? Just because we have
Because I don't want to.
right. We have this taste. So I think this compulsion for my obligation for the Toku Minute,
Mhm.
plus this new appreciation for that mentality of, hey, let's give everything a second shot. I'm hopeful that Gio is gonna come out better than what I remember. But then if it doesn't, you're gonna do the Toku Minute anyway. So screw you.
And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna flame the fuck out of that show because it is absolute trash.
I had a feeling you were gonna do that. I'm like,
That's why I wanted to do it. I was like, I'm gonna tear this fucking show apart.
you can't. You
Watch
have
me.
to find one thing. But I'm gonna make the whole script like just Omagio's the best thing that ever happened.
And I'm gonna read it
Which-
like Omagio is the most overrated piece of shit that would ever grace
Right.
the Kamen Rider fandom.
Who was it that ruined it for me the other day? Who ruined Omagio? Because somebody told me that it's not even canon anymore.
Well, yeah,
It can't
because the entire thing of Zio is that it's not canon anymore because it erases itself.
Don't do that to me, man.
Just remember,
That's-
kids, at the end of Zio, he makes it all not happen, so it doesn't matter anyway.
True.
That's my favorite kind of ending. All of the struggle and growth you did didn't fucking matter. That's my favorite.
Actually,
Love
stop,
it.
man.
Love it. I love
something-
Zio, guys. Zio's my favorite. I don't know if you knew that. I don't know if it's coming across in what I'm saying, but I love Zio. It's my I totally, absolutely want to have the double armor imprinted onto my body. That's totally what I want. All 12 of the USB drives coming out of my asshole.
Okay, real quick. Which is your most loathed armor time?
I'd have to look at him. Hang on. I don't even remember
I'm
these
telling
fucking things.
Look at them. Because now I'm interested. Armor times. Oh, these are all so bad.
They're all so bad. Decade's pretty bad, to be fair.
Oh, man. I mean, okay, when I say bad, I mean they're just garish. They're so garish. It's so over the top, you know? Like when we had Xaid level 99, that was like, wow. This is like, let's take parts of that and just slap it onto a normal sized dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, yeah, no, you know what? No, this one, I can't with this one. Yeah, I'm going this one. All right, I found my pick.
Let me see. Hang on. I just found the page that gave them to me because that other one didn't work. All right.
Oh god, this one's bad too. All right,
Oh, these are all bad. Oh, these are all so bad. These are all so fucking bad. Oh my god.
yeah, I might have just like made a mistake with this. But
Oh
this is
god,
just
they're all so bad. Fuck.
Oh, this one, dude. No, I forgot about you.
Forze might be the worst one.
That's exactly the one I was looking at.
Forze or Gaim. One of those two.
I'm choosing Gaim. That's my pick. Gaim is my pick. You can't have it.
Okay, then I'm gonna say O's because it's super Tatoba for no goddamn reason. He's an actual cheetah on his shoulders. And I'm into some dumb shit, but that's real dumb. He has a full cheetah on his shoulders.
Oh god. Yeah, no.
These are all so bad. This is why I hate this fucking show. Gaim armor. Oh, it's so bad. Look at this. You're all gonna have your eyes burned by this. Look. Oh, it's so bad. Ugh, I'm upset this happened. Why? Actually, it didn't happen because thanks to the end of Zio, none of it fucking happened. So it didn't. There you go. So I do like Zio 2 though. I'm not gonna lie. I like Zio 2.
Zio 2 I did like. Zio 2 is nice, but
cool.
I
like this
think
one.
but I can't. Oma is just I love Oma so much.
You know what my favorite one is? Grand Zio.
What?
I love Grand Zio so much.
Is this the jingle? Can we hear the jingle?
No.
Please play the jingle.
We don't have time for the jingle. We don't have 3 hours. We don't have time for the jingle. So getting back on track, you know what armor he doesn't fucking wear? Kamen Rider Agito. So you were saying, you know, you kind of revisited Zio and things like that. I have gone back and not gone back. I've actually never watched it before. But I have always been an advocate for Agito because everyone talks about how they don't like him or his show, and they just forget about Agito. And I started watching Agito, and I'm on episode 11. So I actually watched more of that than the one we're talking about for the podcast. But yeah, I'm on episode 11, and I fucking love Agito. I think it is really goddamn cool.
Has G3 still been Krillin?
Yeah, G3 is big Krillin energy to the point where it Krillins so hard it dragged Yamcha into the armor and had him run away crying like a bitch. It was great.
No,
yeah.
Really?
Okay, Agito, ready? I'm gonna lay it out for you guys. Not gonna go as deep into Hibiki with this, but I'm gonna lay it out for you guys. So, okay, Agito is a sequel-ish to Kuga. They mentioned Kuga in like the second episode. They mentioned it's been a couple months since that happened, and all the unknown life forms, unidentified life forms, I should say. Now they're called unknowns. That's the new Grongi type creatures, but they're kind of like Grongis with a budget is kind of what's going on. It's pretty cool. I actually like these designs a lot because they're literally just Grongis, but more money thrown at them. And you know how I feel about Grongis. So they also have this. So we, in the first episode, we're introduced to this weird thing that's a puzzle box. And it doesn't look like a puzzle box. It's just this like weird hexagonal cross bunch of angles metal thing that has a bunch of dials on it, and a bunch of scientists go, what the fuck is this? So like dumb scientists, they go, we got to unlock it, because that's always the smart thing to do. So they start, dialing the things, and there's mysterious murders happening all around town, and we are introduced to the G team. They use the G truck, and G3 is launched out of the G truck, and our boy Hikawa is Kamen Rider G3, and his armor was apparently based on unidentified life form 4, which is Kuga. That's the basis for his. So they took the stats and things like the information they had of that and made G3. So that's where G3 comes from. And we find out that Hikawa was not the original person intended to be it, but became eventually, like, there was multiple people in the running to be the G3 pilot, and he was the one who got it. One of the other guys who was not chosen is constantly undermining him and being like, because G3 loses a lot. Spoiler, I guess, for the first time. So G3 loses a lot. Pretty much every instance he's getting his ass beat. And this guy is basically like, hey, top brass is wondering why you're losing so much. Maybe if they had a better pilot in there, they wouldn't lose so much. This is Yamcha. This is the Yamcha I'm talking about. He's like, yeah. If there was a better pilot in there, you're underutilizing G3. You're ruining all this good, great technology and money that we've spent on this. And so he eventually replaces Hikawa for literally an episode. And he goes to fight this thing, and the unknown beats the piss out of him because it's strong. This isn't just Hikawa being terrible. Beats the piss out of him. And this guy literally hits the emergency eject and starts running. I was like, yo, this dude, because he plays it off the whole time. Like, he's like, I'm the John Wick. And like, he does the same test Hikawa's doing, gets perfect marks. He's doing this like gun fu type shit. You'd like the scene, actually, because he's doing this cool like target shooting thing. And he like, he takes out one unknown with like the pea shooter, right? Like, it doesn't, the regular pistol. He like takes one out or like injures it enough for Agito to just finish it off, whatever. And then like once he actually starts losing though, that's when he panics, hits the eject, and pieces the fuck out. And I was like, yo, this is yes, let's go. It was dope. And so that's G3. It's very much a Krillin thing. In the first 10 episodes, Hikawa is there, and then he's gone. But he also is, we are introduced to hang on, I don't remember his name off the top of my head. Agito's actual name. Oh, Shoichi Tsugami. Shoichi is a 20-something-year-old dude who's living with this professor because he lost his memories after an accident. They found him on the beach somewhere, like his adoptive daughter, and he basically is the godfather to this girl and this boy who I don't think they're related either. He just kind of adopts a bunch of random fucking kids. So they're all a family now.
That's fine.
Shoichi is one of them. So Shoichi just kind of does the chores and everything around the house while everyone else is at work. And Shoichi also doesn't have any memories. He's got amnesia. But whenever one of these unknowns starts to be unknowning, they go off unknowning everywhere and start murdering. he gets a little tingle spider sense in the back of his head, and he goes from like, ha 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 ha.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of dope. So he doesn't know, right? Like, he doesn't know this feeling. He just goes from being Shoichi, and then he just like hyper focuses and goes, I gotta go. And he just turns around.
Wait. Wait a minute. That's cool. What the fuck?
So,
okay.
And here's the coolest part, right? So, Gills. He's the weird organic rider in Agito, right? That doesn't make a lot of sense. When Gills and Agito they meet in the first episode. They both kind of get the spider sense for each other. So they kind of like side eye and like look back at each other, and Shoichi keeps walking and Gills is looking at him. They get this spider sense for each other, which is really cool. So there's kind of weird like kaijin telepathy thing going on. This like ancient magic telepathy, whatever you want to call it. It's really cool. But yeah, Shoichi, whenever an unknown pops up, Gills does it too. He can feel it too. He gets the spider sense too. But he doesn't like personality switch as hard as Shoichi does. Like, Shoichi will be like, oh yeah, let me make you some food. You want me to pour you some? He's like overly gracious to the point where he's kind of annoying. And like literally Hikawa's over at the apartment the one time. He's like, let me make you some tea. Try this. He grows vegetables in the garden. So he's all about his vegetables. He's like, let me make you this radish. And then like one starts a murder and he just like stands up and like looks out the window. And then he's like washing a dish and he's just gone when they look in the kitchen. He's just fucking gone. So
that's fucking cool.
It's cool because he doesn't have his memories, but he just goes into rider mode. And he doesn't know Hikawa is G3 at this point. And Hikawa's fighting. There's always like, they've been coming in pairs. So there's always like dual fighting going on. It's kind of cool. There's like a pair thing. Kind of like that one season of Garo.
There's okay, I got you.
There's always two bad guys, kind of like Hibiki. Like, there's always two of them. There's always two of them. And then like G3 and Agito usually end up fighting the two of them together.
I see.
But usually Agito kind of ends up, doing most of the killing because G3 just gets kicked around.
Agito isn't part of the
not yet.
Crew,
no, he is not
right?
part of that crew at all. I'm sure they're going to meet and know who each other are eventually, but right now, no. And so when Shoichi henshins the first couple times, he doesn't even do it like on purpose. Like, he kind of just is in like a trance the first like 2 or 3 episodes. Like, you don't even see him. So the first time you see him henshin, he's literally walking up and his belt is glowing so bright you can't see who it is. Like, the eye, you know how it's that like yin yang eye thing looking? It's glowing so bright, like straight up flashlight, that you cannot see who it is. And he just like flashes and he's Agito. I mean, you can tell because it's the outline of Shoichi we just saw 2 seconds ago. Like, it's Shoichi. But like, you can't see who it is because it's blinding. Like when headlights are in your face, you can't see what's behind it. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he just henshins, and then he does the dope kick. I love his fucking kick so much.
That fucking that it's the pose. It's the proper martial arts.
You know what the best part is? When he kicks, he lands, and then he turns. He just slowly turns, and then they explode, and then they fucking explode. It's so dope. Oh my god, he's so cool. And so it's really cool. Like I said, like Shoichi just goes into like battle mode. And at one point it's interesting to see because, like I said, Agito is a very different personality. And it's not like Shoichi like unlocks an actual personality. It's not like, he unlocks Tsugami, that kind of thing. Like, that's not what it is. It's not like Agito is like living inside him like Ultraman style.
Gotcha.
It's literally just like he flips into battle mode kind of thing. And so like at one point, this lady he has a crush on is attacked by these unknowns, and he is like obsessed with her. Like he happy go lucky goofball. He's like, oh, pretty lady. And when he's Agito, he literally looks at her, turns away, and walks away and lets G3 handle it. I was like, yo,
that has to be something. That has to be something.
Yeah, because the whole time they're unlocking this puzzle box, right? And by episode like 7, the thing fucking unlocks. I was waiting for this to last until like, the end of the show.
49.
Yeah. And then you know what comes out of it? The fucking Shin psychic baby. There's just like a psychic baby that comes out of it.
What?
Yeah, there's just a baby.
Hold on.
There was a DNA structure that just becomes a baby.
Okay.
After this thing opens, there's this DNA structure and it becomes a baby. And then
I'm gonna let that
it just disappears. The scientist is like, what the fuck? What the actual fuck?
Which is the most valid question. That should be on like all the notes after that. Like,
and then like it grows up into like an 8-year-old after like 2 minutes. It just grows the fuck up. That's why it's able to leave. It just disappeared. Yeah. It's crazy. And then so where we are now, this thing has progressed 3 different stages into adulthood. It's adulthood now. And this thing has godlike powers and can just disappear when it wants to and just teleport and do other things. It takes gills and basically goes, "Oh, you're whatever the fuck." And because Gills just like wakes up and he can do the Gills thing. He was in a car crash, and when he recovers, he can just fucking do it, and he doesn't know what happened. Yeah. Agito is goddamn cool.
I'm with it now. I mean, I've got the baby thing might have flanked me, but I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah. And it helps that Agito's forms are really goddamn cool. I always talk about how Ultraman like kicks him off too quickly. Like he's had both forms now. He used the sword one once, and then he's used the halberd a couple times at this point. Because he gets that in the second episode, and he does a really cool like tornado spin. It's pretty cool. But then now he's a katana. He's got a flaming katana, so that's cool. Yeah,
but he's. Okay.
You have many questions, I'm sure.
I do, but I kind of want to watch it.
Yeah, you need to watch it because again, I will stick by this. Gills has one of the coolest fucking henshins in the world. I think that is the sickest thing ever. Where like Suit Gills just walks up next to him. I think that is the simplest, coolest henshin in the fucking world. I don't know why. It just is.
That is pretty dope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you that.
Yeah, and that happens. That's literally his first henshin. We've seen that clip 100 times at this point, but like that's the first henshin he does. And anytime before that, he like henshins. You just see it like behind closed doors. You see the flash of light like Agito gets, or like at one point he's falling out of someone like throws him off a roof or something. I don't remember why.
Somebody just throws him.
Oh, he's attacked by one of the unknowns, I think, and they like throw him off a roof. And
okay.
Yeah, it's not just like some dude like, whoop, my bad. Yeah, and he like hovers in the air and starts to like change, and his arm like goes into Gills mode, and then he like falls to the ground because he can float for a second. I don't know. But his kick is really cool. I like his kick a lot too. He does like the leg hold as he's jumping in the air, and he just stabs him in the back. It's sick.
So guys,
watch Heisei Kamen Rider.
All the shows that you have a second question about, please just give it a shot. Yeah.
And don't just watch the first episode either, because the first episode is any show you watch. Do not just watch the first episode and go, meh, whatever. Yes, the theme song is fucking banger too for Agito.
Okay, but I mean seriously, what the fuck? A baby born from? I'm just so
and it grows the fuck up. It is a full-grown adult now, and it's been like 2 days. And Gills attacks it, and it just disappears.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
It may or may not be God. I don't know.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
It may or may not be God.
Immediately,
actually, no. It may or may not be God.
That's just what it is.
Yeah, because that's just what it is. It's the God of things. So that's why it was locked in this fucking puzzle box.
All the difficulty you had just getting to this thing for a reason.
Yeah.
For a fucking
reason. Yeah. If something is that complicated to unlock, don't fucking unlock it.
Love it. I'm just so blown away, dude.
Yeah.
Like I said, just reiterating. Yes, check out all your shit. Mm-hmm. Look how animated we are. Look at this shit. And now I'm like, what's next? What's the next show?
Yeah.
What's the next show? Because for those who don't know, I don't think we talked about it, but there's something we have that's coming up in the next couple weeks that's very, very awesome. The Guyford.
Yes. So the elusive show that I have been interested in for literally years, I have never had a chance to watch, is essentially a combination of Fist of the North Star and Gridman. And it is called Guyford. What's the full title? We need the full title here. Hang on.
Shinseki Tyson Guyford.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, but we need the English. The English. 7-star fighting god. Guyford.
Guyford. Listen, I checked out clips.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh, and it was by Capcom as well, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. Guyford borrows aspects from Kamen Rider, Bio Booster Armor Guyver, and Fist of the North Star. There you go.
Let me put it.
Toho and Capcom. So this is going to be fucking glorious. And why is he not in a Marvel vs. Capcom game? Because probably because Toho has the rights. But listen.
Is there a model from Premium Bandai?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
That's surprising.
Yeah. No. That's not gonna happen because this only has 26 episodes, and I'm pretty sure no one knows about it. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna read off his moves. He's got a list of moves here. This is what I'm gonna hype you guys up with this. Ready? Kyoku Seiken, Rekageki, Jiraishin, Fukurambo, Bakuraiha, Saigeki Shu, Gekyu Yusho. Okay, and his ultimate attack, Renki Kyoku Seiken. Kyoku Seiken.
Seiki Haten Kyoken. Got
Seki Haten Kyoken. There you go. That's all it is.
Yeah. Fucking take Kyoken. That's all you need. Dude, look at this. I mean, the Henshin is a bit 90s, but it's still good.
It's cool. He assumes the positions and does things, and then he just like flashes. It's cool as shit, though, but we're going to check out Guyford.
Yes.
And his name's Go Kazama, which is a dope name. So...
yeah, guys. Other than that, you got anything to add on? I'm losing my voice.
Yeah, me too. It's fine. I'm getting too hyped. That's the problem.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, go check out any of these shows. It doesn't necessarily have to be Hibiki or Agito. Just revisit some old shows. There's other ones that I wanted to talk about, but we're not going to get to it. Like I checked out Drive again. I loved it. I hated it the first time I saw it. I love Drive. You watched X-Aid. We both hated that shit. You watched it again. You loved it. So
no, I love it.
You more so hated that than I did. That was not like a ZU level. I feel like you had Zio fucking
it was a
disdain
betrayal
for that show.
It was horrid because I had just become a fan and they betrayed me.
Yeah. So, but then you rewatched it and you loved it. So there's other stuff like that. My point is, go back and watch shows that maybe people have told you they suck. Maybe you just bounced off before, and give it a couple more episodes and see what happens. Because I think you'll appreciate a lot of things, especially now. Especially if you've, for me, when I first watched Hibiki, no matter how many times I bounced off it, the first time I watched it, I was not into Kamen Rider that much. Like, I had seen a few episodes, and I watched it when they first put it on Toei Tokusatsu, which was 3 years ago now. I tried it again, and it's just like I didn't know, and I didn't want to appreciate as much of it as I do now. You know what I mean? So at that point, it was pretty much, if it's not Godzilla, it's Kamen Rider. So if it's not either of those, I don't care. So go watch that shit. Go give it like 5-10 episodes. Our usual mark on the show is 10 episodes. That's usually how you can know if you're going to be into a show or not. So
yep.
Go check it out. I highly recommend it, and especially Hibiki and Agito, because Hibiki is great. Like, we just spent an hour and a half talking about it, and Agito is fucking cool too. So
check them out.
You also don't need to watch Kuga to watch Agito, just so you know.
Right. Yeah, it's not a direct sequel.
They mention it, and that's literally all it is. They mention episode 2, and they never mention it again. So there you go. Yeah.
So after you check out your show, if you're in the charitable spirit and you want to check out some stuff on TikTok, I do a bunch of Toku Minutes, which is just a mini dive into a bunch of random Toku subjects that I pick out. Mm-hmm. Every week I try to have a new video. I will have the Geo video ready to go by Saturday, hopefully. Let's see. Other than that, I do some horror stuff on the side. That's another YT channel. Check that out. 6 Echoes. Other than that, you can catch me here on Sundays doing this stuff with this maniac right here.
Yeah. And you guys can follow me at Kaiju Carl on twitch.tv. We do stuff throughout the week. We don't just stream here. This is just the Toku stuff. We just do that here, but I stream all kinds of video games and stuff over there. We do Toku stuff too. That's where we designed, if you guys saw the Kamen Rider the Fighting video, we designed that on the channel. We have the patch video coming too. I'm going to start working on this week, finally. And yeah, we brainstorm that kind of stuff. We just have fun over there. So come hang out on twitch.tv/Kaiju Carl. You can also follow me at Kaiju Carl on all the socials and all that kind of stuff. Join that Discord that I put the link in the chat there for, if you want. It's cool. We have a fun time. Maybe we should just hang out and talk about some bullshit. But that pretty much does it for me. I'm out here, yo. Call me Kamen Rider Agito. I'm gonna go fucking henshin over here. What's up, dude?